Hi there YouTube, Voan here again today, and as you can see right in front of us right now we have 6 different consoles, and of all those 6 consoles you can tell all of them can play Sega Genesis games or have Sega Genesis compatibility, so you can play Sega Genesis games like Untitled Chapter 2 on the Super Retro Trio, the Genesis Model 1, the Sega Nomad, the AtGames Sega Genesis, the Genesis Model 2, and the RetroN 5. So if you have any of those 6, you could play this game on it. However, today we're not gonna discussing Genesis games because we already discussed that many times over. So today we're gonna discuss Master System games. So here is a Master System game called Hang On and Astro Warrior. So this is a combo cartridge right here. So as you can tell right here, this is a Sega Master System cartridge. The only problem is this cartridge is not compatible with any of these 6 consoles. And why is that? The cartridge connector here is different. So if you try to put it on this one, it's not gonna connect. You can try connect it any ways you want, but it won't go. Which leads us to this thing right here. This is the Sega Genesis Power Base Converter. So this will allow you to plug a Sega Master System games on top of there. So this is basically the adapter that you will be able to use Sega Master System on any of those 6 consoles. However, that is pretty much all the ideas that are going to be discussed in this video, because the Power Base Converter, as you can tell, is not designed for all of those consoles, at least only for 1 or 2 of them. So let's take a look at the Model 1, the original Sega Genesis console that came with it. So let's take that Sega Master System adapters. Yeah, so this is the Genesis Model 1. This is the Power Base Converter. Originally, back then, if you bought a launch Genesis console, you get a deal from Sega about getting the Power Base Converter either for free or through a kind of a service deal, I think. But the idea is this Master Power Base Converter here has a Genesis connector on the bottom, so it's actually more like a Super Game Boy but as an attachment. So as you can tell, the Model 1 has this rounded edge here that the Master Power Base Converter can rest on. So to do this, you actually have to plug it like this, almost like your hat you put on your head basically. So yeah, as you can tell, it's a nice match right here, especially here on the back too. Yeah, that looks really cool right there. So with this, you can finally open this lid, and now you can put a Sega Master System games on it like this. So now you can actually play your Master System on your Sega Genesis. However, that's not the end of the story about the Power Base Converter or the Sega Genesis. Now, the Sega Genesis here, the Sega Genesis is not just a Sega Genesis. Inside the Sega Genesis console is also all the guts and processors and all that stuff that the Sega Master System used to have. All of the processors and all of the chips and everything that were on the original Sega Master Systems are all in here. So basically what this Power Base Converter do is, all it does is send the connections from the cartridge that was plugged up here, send that signal all the way past the Sega Genesis connector so that the games could make its way down here. So basically you can't really plug a Sega Master System on the Genesis connector. You can't do that because the pin, they have different connector pins in there. So for you to play Master System games on Genesis using the Master System hardware that is already in there, you have to use this converter here, and this converter will send the Master System game signal all the way down there where all the Master System components are. Once it reaches the component, then it'll load up the game just like on an actual Sega Master System. Not only that, you also have all this controller ports here that are backwards compatible with Sega Master System controller too. So if you still have your Sega Master System controller, you can use that. But basically a lot of games are still compatible with Genesis controllers, so if you're comfortable using Genesis more, you can play those. But not all Master System games will work with Genesis controller though. So you either had to go out and buy a Master System controllers, or if you still have one, use one. Basically that's all you need if you have a Model 1. Now that's just the Model 1. The Model 1 already have all the Master System stuff in there. There's nothing on the Power Base converters. There's no Sega Master System processing or anything inside this converter here. All it does is receive the signal and send it into the Genesis. So, but it does give you a pause buttons and another connector for you to play the card games that were on the original Sega Master System as well. So you have the option of using these formats or the cartridge formats, and they give you a pause buttons, because on the original Sega Master System the controller does not have a pause button. It has a start button, but the start button and the pause buttons are not the same buttons. It's kind of confusing to explain, but that's basically what a Master System controller has. It has a start, but the start button is also the action button. So yeah, but if you look at all these remaining 5 consoles, it's different from the Model 1. So next, this is the Genesis Model 2, and some people I think believe that there's also Sega Master System compatibility built in here too. So all the Sega Master System components and processing from the Model 1 are also in the Model 2. The only problem is if you try to attach the Power Base Converter into it, it won't go. So if you look at that, you can tell it's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to plug the converter in, and you can't just push it all the way in. It's gonna break if you do that. So all in all, this Power Base Converter will not fit on that Genesis Genesis Model 2 there. But that's pretty much just gonna be just a myth of people saying that there might be Master System stuff in there. Well, if you use the same hardware as the original, it might still have Master System compatibility. So we'll find that out later. But right now, the Power Base Converter does not fit the Model 2. However, it does fit on the AtGames Sega Genesis. So if you can tell, it's basically yeah, it basically almost covers the AtGames Sega Genesis. So yeah, it basically does fit. But I don't know if there's any Master System compatibility inside this AtGames Sega Genesis. We'll have to test that out. So yeah. However, let's see, then this is the Sega Genesis Nomad. Like the Model 1, Model 2, it probably might have some the Sega Master System compatibility in here too. But yeah, if you look at it, it's kinda complicated to put the power adapter, considering that it's just a portable. So if we try to plug it into it, so you can tell, yeah, this is how it plugs in, but it doesn't plug in all the way. It can still fall if you try to plug it all the way. So yeah. So the Power Base Converter is not gonna even fit the Nomad. So you're not gonna be able to play Master System games on the Nomad. Next, we'll look at the Super Retro Trio here. Now, unlike the RetroN 5 that we're gonna go to next, the Super Retro Trio has the Genesis connector on the very front here, on below here. Now, if you notice other clone system, the Genesis connector slot is usually in the second position or on the third position, and right here it's on the first position. So if you look at the Power Base Converter, you try to plug it in there, it's not gonna fit because, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. It's just gonna fall out. So as you can tell, it's trying to go to the Genesis connectors, but there's also the Super Nintendo and Nintendo connectors getting on the way, and there's no space to leave room for this this end here that needs to cover the hardware. So if the Super Retro Trio puts the Genesis connector on the back, it might work, but right here it does not work. So I'm not sure if there's gonna be any Master System compatibility in here or not. So we're gonna have to yeah, we're gonna have to assume that it might not have any. But yeah, we might have an alternative for this too. So okay, so last but not least, the one that people talk more about, or talk the most about, is this one, the RetroN 5. And if you look, unlike the Super Retro Trio, the Genesis connector slot is on the back, or on the top, that is. And like the Sega Genesis, the Model 1, you could actually plug the Power Base Converter in here. It doesn't go all the way in though. You just have to trust that it works, because yeah, taking it out is kind of complicated sometimes. So you just have to plug it like this and then let it go. It doesn't go all the way in, but it does leave room for this back side here where it'll be able to rest on. So you can still use the Power Base Converter. The RetroN 5 itself will recognize it as another platforms. So you can still use your Master System card games and Master System cartridge games too. So yeah, this is pretty good. We can test the RetroN 5 and the Model 1 using this. Yeah, let's see how that one works. Okay, so we got the Power Base Converter already hooked up on the Genesis Model 1 there. So now we're gonna test out some Master System games on the Model 1 and see how it goes. So we'll be starting with combo carts. So this one. And we also have 4 or 3 other games that we may test too. So we have Space Harriers and Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as Lord of the Sword. So we'll be testing all of those 4 and see if the Master System can handle being on the Genesis. So and there it is. There's the load up screen for Hang On and Astro Warrior. So here I'm actually using the 3-button Sega Genesis controllers. So let's play Hang On and see how it goes right here. So this is Hang On the Sega Master System. Wow, it's a really hard game, but it works. Oh. Man, it's really hard to make these turn here. Wow. I don't know if I'm gonna win this race or not. You got killed twice. As you can tell, like I said before, there's no pause buttons, and the start button is part of the B and C, so B and C is pretty much the Master System 1 and 2. So I pretty much just use C. And playing this on the Genesis controller works really well. The only problem is you can't pause over here. So yeah, if you're pressing start, it'll not pause the game at all. So you basically had to walk all the way over there and press pause over there if you ever want to stop your game. So that's one of the combo cards. One of the game combo cards. So and now let's try Astro Warrior on the combo cards. So there it is. So it's actually a space shooter. I shoot 'em up, that is. It's a really fun shooter too. So if you like games like this, like plays in the same style as Galaga, and if you like games like Galaga, then this is no different. Except that instead of shooting aliens and stuff, you're actually shooting other invaders, other pilots. Reminds me of games like Raidens, Galaga, Sky Shark, Radiant Silver Guns and all that too. Yeah, this is one of the earlier games like that. So yeah, that's it. That's Astro Warrior, a really fun shooter. So next, we'll be trying the master versions of Sonic the Hedgehog. So this is not a port of the Genesis version, by the way. It doesn't load properly, so I have to take it out again. Hopefully it works this time. And it does. So if you look, yeah, it basically looks and plays the same as the Game Gear version, but on a much wider screen. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Master Systems, running on the Power Base Converter for the Genesis Model 1 here. Yeah, it plays really well. There are quite a few slowdowns whenever there's a lot of sprites on screen, but other than that, the game plays really well, really smooth. The control works really great with this. All the jumps and controls are accurately responsive. The graphics looks very colorful. There are no glitches or no glitches, no freezing, no nothing. It's just pure retro goodness with this controller here. Okay, so next let's try Space Harrier. So hopefully Space Harrier plays almost as good, or maybe better. It's not gonna be as perfect as the arcade version, but it is a fantastic game to play. There he goes. This is Space Harrier. Looks and plays similar to 3D World Runner on the NES, but the sprites and the gameplays runs really smooth here. You are constantly on rail and you're trying to shoot everything that you see coming at you, so this is basically the whole idea of the game. Each stage is like an encounter with different enemies and different locations and different planets and stuff. You basically have to avoid all the incoming objects and shoot whatever enemies is heading your way. Or you can just shoot the object too if you want. Oh my gosh. I am not that good in this game. I remember I played this, reached like around level 5, and then by then I lose all my credits. Yeah, you can only lose 3 times. So yep, so that's Space Harrier. So next, Lord of the Sword. After this, we can go directly to RetroN 5 and see how the Power Base Converter can convert there too. So there's Lord of the Sword working on the Power Base Converter. And this is a side-scrolling action game. You basically walk around town, going from level to level, and trying to accomplish the mission that were given to you. There's a little bit of RPG elements in there too, but you don't really level up or anything. You just have to upgrades and try to accomplish all the missions and stuff that were given. You will eventually get better weapons and better equipment later on too, but it's gonna be a long way to get there, considering that there's a lot of constant backtracking in this game, and your earlier weapon here are not that great. You get a sword and basically a bow and arrow. So if you use the bow and arrow, yeah, you can't really shoot. You can't really shoot from up or down, just left or right. So you can't really shoot diagonal either, and you can't shoot while you're jumping. But the sword comes really handy. It's not that great, but it works. Hopefully you might learn some spell later on too. There's like 3 slots up there, and that might be used for something. I remember I used to play this game on a friend's Master Systems, and we got to one of the bosses, and we just died on that bosses. We never really play after that because we don't know where to go after that. So there was really no internet back then, so we didn't really know what we were doing. But yeah, there's different ways of going here. If you pause, you can see the map, and the map is actually useless because it doesn't tell you where you are. So I can show you the map right now. And the map is pretty much your pause. So you can see there's all the villages, mountains, castles, and all that stuff. And they didn't really tell you where you're at. You just had this smiling sun in here, pretty much as a compass and leading you wherever. But yeah, it's nice to see a map, but if it's useless, then what the heck. At least it has a pause button that can pause your actions, but you can't really use the pause while you're in any of those battle stages. So yeah, that's Lord of the Sword for you on the Genesis Model 1 for the Power Base Converter. So yeah. Alright, so now we got the RetroN 5 with the Power Base Converter already plugged in there. So let's test the same 4 games that we test on the Model 1. Sonic the Hedgehog, the combo cards, Lord of the Sword, and Space Harriers. So let's see how they fare on the RetroN 5. So now we're using the actual Power Base Converter. It should work. So here, let's test Sonic the Hedgehog. It's an unknown cartridge. For some reason it doesn't recognize. Let's see, let's try again. Yep, there it is. Seems that it already has a gameplay already built in there, so let's use that. Okay. Okay, so the good thing about using these controllers on the RetroN 5 is that for the first time you can actually pause the game. See, you can actually pause the game. You can actually pause the game using one of the buttons instead of having to go to the converter and using that one. So the RetroN 5 actually gives you the option to put the pause button on the controllers. So now you have not only the start buttons and the action buttons here, you got the pause button right here too. That way it makes the game much more comfortable to play. But all of these are done using emulation, so that's a good thing. Plays just like how it was on the Model 1. And with the RetroN 5 with all its features, it actually makes the Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Master System that more worthwhile to play, because Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is actually a very hard game to play through. So, yep, so that's Sonic on the RetroN 5, the Master System version. So, let's see, let's get out of that. Now, let's try the combo cartridge and see if the combo cartridge is any better. So, we don't even have to take out the converter, we just have to take out the games and then plug in the combo. So there it is, Hang On and Astro Warriors. So let's play that and see how it fares this time. Alright, so as you can tell, I can actually pause on this game now too. So that's a good thing. Oh my gosh, well, I'm still not good at this game. Oh, I'm going faster now. Alright. Hopefully I don't die this time. Because if I do... Ah, I did. Man, basically one hit kill right there. Ah, okay. Game over. Alright. So let's go to Astro Warrior again and see how Astro Warrior goes. There might be cheats for these games, but I don't think the cheats are any better. The emulation is kinda wonky on this game though. You can tell the graphics are flickering. Whereas if we play this on the Genesis Model 1, the graphics aren't that flickering like before, but this one, it actually is. Sometimes it's kinda just the emulation stuff. But overall, it's still a very fun game to play. If you have a RetroN 5 and a Power Base Converter, then all these games are at your fingertips. So let's try Lord of the Sword this time. This might probably go kind of well with this. Alright. Gotta go back to the menu first. That's right. There you go. So let's take this out and try Lord of the Sword. And there it is, it recognized. Okay, there's already a playthrough here for us, so yeah, plays really good. You can tell the music that they use here now are those FM music that were on the Japanese Sega Master. It sounds different from when we use it on the Model 1, huh? Sounds really good too. Like I said, on the action stage, you can't pause. So you gotta go to one of the town to pause it. So if we continue going forward here. Yep, so now we're at the town, we can actually pause it. So if you pause it, you get this useless map here. I call it the useless map because you don't even know where you're at. So that's Lord of the Sword. I'm sure we can try Space Harrier and it'll work too. So let's try that one, and then I can give you my final opinion on this converter here. So Lord of the Sword is out. And now we can try Space Harrier. Doesn't even recognize. Come on. Space Harrier. Unknown cartridge. Come on. There he goes. Space Harrier. Man, that RetroN 5 often want to play game with us with those loading stuff. But let's try. Oh yeah, somebody played this one before too. Get ready. Wow. Not too bad. Not too bad. The RetroN 5 actually works really good now. And there he goes. Here comes the damn dragon. Just had to kill him. Almost did it. Well, at least we reached the dragon. So yeah, that's Space Harrier for you, playing on the Power Base Converter for the RetroN 5. Works the same on the Model 1, except it's using emulations instead of the actual hardware. So that's basically how the Master Base Converter works. Okay, so we just got through testing the Sega Genesis Power Base Converter for the Sega Genesis Model 1 and the RetroN 5. The only two consoles that this thing actually fits in. And I had to say, it works really well. All the compatibilities of the 4 games that we tested works slightly good. The graphics works. The graphics are good. The control works fine. There is no games that locked out on us. The only thing is that if you're using this on the Model 1, you need, if you want to pause, you have to use this button right here. So there's no button on the controllers that you have to use. However, if you use this on the RetroN 5, you can actually just assign a pause button to your controller. So instead of using the one here, you can just use the start button as the pause. So that's a good thing about the RetroN 5. And yeah, the Master System does have great games like these three, Space Harrier, Lord of the Sword, and the combo cards, as in addition to the Master System version of Sonic the Hedgehog as well. So that's a good thing about playing Master System games on the Sega Genesis. However, we still got 4 of these, which we can try to see if they have Genesis, or if they have Master System compatibility with their Genesis, because usually if they have Genesis, then they should be able to emulate Master System compatibility in there too. So the next product we'll be testing that is similar to the Power Base Converter here is this thing right here. This is an exclusive product from Stone Age Gamers, and a converter called the Power Base Mini. It uses the same technology as the one used in the Power Base Converter. So basically all it does is send all the compatible signals of the Master System cartridge to the Sega Genesis or to the Genesis processors, to see if there's any Master System compatibility left in it. So if it found any, then it'll be able to load the games with it. So basically what you do is almost similar to what you do on the Power Base Converter. You put the Master System games up here, and then from here you plug the Power Base Converter in there so that it goes into the console. And just like that, you can just turn the power on and then the game will just load. Now that's just the idea. We'll have to test that out and see if it actually does work. So we'll start with the Genesis Model 2. And we'll test it with the same 4 games on all 4 of these and see if they work. So we'll start on the Model 2, and then we'll go to the Nomad, and then the AtGames Sega Genesis, and then we'll try the Super Retro Trio last, considering that that's a clone system. So these 2 will be last, and these 2 will be first. So let's get started with it. Alright, so as you can see, we got the Sega Genesis Model 2 all hooked up, along with the Power Base Mini there. So the Power Base Mini is already installed into the cartridge slots, so we're gonna test the same, we're gonna test these same 4 games on the Power Base Mini for the Model 2. So if the Model 2, if these games work on through the Power Base Mini on the Model 2, then that means that the Model 2 itself also has some Sega Master System compatibility still inside that console. So let's try it out and see if it works. So we're trying Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Masters. So let's turn that on and turn the power on. And well, you know, it works. Also like the Model 1, the Model 2 cannot pause. So in order to use the pause button, you have to go and use that pause button on the Power Base Mini. So yeah, that's also a bummer there, but at least at least DB Electronic give us a pause button on that one, so that's a good thing. But it works really great. Sonic the Hedgehog runs really smooth on the Model 2 as well. And since the Model 2 has stereo sound, it makes it even better. So that's Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sega Master System Sonic the Hedgehog running on the Power Base Mini for the Model 2 Genesis. So, alright, after this, let's test Space Harrier again and see how Space Harrier goes. Alright, so we take this out and we plug in Space Harrier. Ah, there must be a connection problem. Should work this time. There it goes. Now it works. And it works just as good as the Model 1 did. Now the thing about the Power Base Mini is that it doesn't support those Sega Master System card games. So if you want to play the card games, you have to play the Model 1 or the RetroN 5 Power Base Converter. Because the Power Base Mini doesn't have the extra card slot in there. However, that's not really a big deal considering that there's not a lot of those card games out there. And even if there are, some of those card games, Sega later re-released some of them as in cartridge form for the Sega Master System. So even if there are a lot of those card games, some of them did get turned into cartridge. So games like Hang On and Astro Warriors are some of them, I think. Maybe Hang On is one of them, but I'm not sure about Astro Warrior. Unless if you really want to play those Master System 3D games, then that might be another thing. Ah, I reached the dragon again. Sooner than before, too. Ah, we defeated the dragon, now we're in Biza. Anyways, next, let's try Lord of the Sword. That guy really knows how to scream. So next here, Lord of the Sword. There it is. It worked just like before. It's pretty much the same. And like before, we cannot pause for the map. But it works really well now, just like the Model 1 too. So let's try the combo cart, and then after this we can go to the Nomad and check the compatibility on that too. Maybe Nomad might work. So alright, so the combo card should also work. Yes, it does. So let's go to, hang on. Ah. Alright. We all know it works. Let's try Astro Warrior. Yeah, Astro Warrior. Ah. All right. Okay. Alright, so that's all of them. So the Power Base Mini works really well with the Model 2. All the Master System games. So even though you can't use the Power Base Converter for the Model 2, at least the Power Base Mini here serves as a nice alternative. You don't get those small card games, but at least you got hundreds of those cartridge games that you can still play. So yeah, after testing the Model 2, let's go to the Nomad and see if it works. So right here I have the Nomad, and I'll put the batteries chargers in there. So now the Nomad is charged with the battery now. So let's see if the Nomad works. So I got the Power Base Mini plug in there. Let's try. Yeah, so let's try Lord of the Sword on the Power Base Mini for the Nomad. Okay. Doesn't see anything. Okay, let's retry it again. And this battery charger is not that good, or this battery pack is not that good. Let's give it another try and hope for the best. Maybe those people are right. Let's try Lord of the Sword. So yeah, Lord of the Sword Power Base Mini on the Sega Nomad. Does it work? Nope. Let's give it a few more tries. Alright, so let's turn it back on. Does it work? No, it does not work. Alright, how about Space Harrier? So, Power Base Minis, Nomad, Space Harrier. So let's try that. You can hear that noise, but there's no gameplay. There's no game load at all for the Master, for the Nomad here. Let's try it one more time. Doesn't seem to load anything. Okay, so Sonic the Hedgehog will be the last one. If Sonic doesn't work, then there's probably nothing inside the Nomad. There's pretty much there's probably no Master System compatibility. So there it is, Power Base Mini, Sonic the Hedgehog, and the Nomad. Let's try again one more time, just in case if it's playing trick on us again. Let's try it one more time. Does it work? Does it? No. I don't get it. The Nomad is itself a Genesis, so I just don't get how the Power Base Mini here does not work on the Nomad, because the Nomad itself is also a Genesis. This hardware here can play any Genesis games, including the hard to play virtual racing that everybody's talking about. So yeah, that's quite a surprise there. However, let's go to the next two. Let's go to this one, the AtGames Sega Genesis. So you can see it also fits. So yeah, let's test the AtGames Sega Genesis and see how it goes. Alright, so now we got the AtGames Sega Genesis plug and play with the Power Base Mini already plugged in, and we're gonna test the same 4 games on it to see if that works. If Master System game works on the AtGames Sega Genesis, then that will be a big bonus to the people who bought the plug and play. So not only do you get the plug and play, you're gonna get the converter that are able to let you play these games too. So let's hope if it works. So let's try Space Harrier first this time. So hopefully it works, because why call yourself a Genesis when you don't work? Right? I don't get it. I plugged the... Yeah, a little problem with that system there. I already plugged the Power Base Mini and the Space Harrier Master System games in there. Doesn't seem like AtGames Sega Genesis wanted to play these two. Let's try to turn it all by itself and see if it loads. And sometimes it might be just the TV. There it is, it loads. So let's put oh my gosh, it doesn't even turn on. Oh my gosh. This does not look good. Okay, so big problem. Doesn't seem like the AtGames Sega Genesis wanted to play these Sega Master System games. Either that or it doesn't have any Sega Master System compatibility built in it. So yeah. So if you have this, if you have the AtGames Sega Genesis, then no, you're not gonna be able to play Master System games using this. So Master System games for the AtGames Sega Genesis is a no-no. You won't be able to play anything. You may try to turn it on, but immediately once it recognizes that the Power Base Mini is plugged in, the power will not even turn on. So even if you press the buttons, it's not gonna turn on. So that's a bummer there. I really hope that it gives us the master compatibility, but it doesn't seem to want to do that. So yeah, that's really surprising on this and the Nomad. However, it's more surprising with the Nomad, considering that the Nomad is an actual hardware. This one is just a clone on a chip. So yeah, well, at least more reason not to get this one. So last but not least, yeah, Super Retro Trio. Hopefully this one fares better than AtGames. So let's try the Super Retro Trio out. Alright, so we got the Super Retro Trio all hooked up and with the Power Base Mini already plugged in. So like before, I'm gonna test the same 4 games on it and see if the Super Retro Trio could surprise us. If it could do what the Nomad and the AtGames Sega Genesis can't do, then splendid. It'll be worth getting. So yeah, let's try Sonic the Hedgehog first again. So let's plug that there. Turn the TV on and power on. And there it is, it worked. Kind of surprising that it works, considering that it's just a Genesis on a chip. Wow. The only thing that's different about playing this on the Retro Trio compared to playing on the 2 actual Genesis is that playing this on the Trio, you can see a lot of those glitching, those graphics glitching on you. So if I could zoom in on the gameplay here, yeah, if you look up there, you can see the picture is kind of glitching up there. So yeah, that's the one thing, that's the one minor difference about it. Other than that, the gameplay works really well. The gameplay works really well, the sound works really good. Sounded just like the actual Genesis, and the actual Master System on the Genesis. Also, like before, like the Genesis, yeah, you cannot use start for pause. So I'm guessing that RetroN 5 is the only console that has that feature where you can assign the pause button to the controller. Alright, so let's see if Space Harrier will work. Alright, so let's try Space Harrier on the Super Retro Trio via the Power Base Mini. It works. Alright. Yep, we can see all the glitchings graphics up there. It's not a very big deal, but it does get kind of annoying sometimes. Alright. Next, let's try Lord of the Sword. Hopefully that one works too. And there it goes. Lord of the Sword is right there. And it works just the same. You can't use pause for the map on this one. Yep. Let's try the combo cart again. Super Retro Trio can actually do something that the Nomad can't do. Oh yeah, even the combo car works. So that means that the Super Retro Trio there, not only does it have Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Famicom, Super Famicom, Genesis, and Mega Drive compatibility, it can also have Sega Master System compatibility along with it. In all, you basically have a whole library of retro gaming inside that Super Retro Trio there, or a part of the Super Retro Trio there. Plus, if you add in Super Game Boy and the Retro Advance adapter, you basically have almost the entire Game Boy line in there too. Almost. If only all the Game Boy Color works, then that basically is all of them. Let's see how Hang On works on this. Yep, like before, it works just the same. I can never get good at this game. And never get tired. The only thing is, this game is the only one that doesn't glitch a lot. It doesn't have those glitching graphics like Sonic and Lord of the Sword and Space Harrier. Let's see how Astro Warrior looks like. Maybe Astro Warrior might not be the same. Let's see. Well, So I have to say that Power Base Mini works very well on the Super Retro Trio there. All the all of these 4 games seems to work really good through the Power Base Mini with the trio. So if you have the trio, you have no problem playing these on there. Although a few of those games does have a little bit of glitchiness in there, but other than that, the gameplay, the music, and all that stuff should be fine. So it's not perfect, but it's fine because yeah, the Master System compatibility on the Super Retro Trio there are all just on the chips. So basically all the Master System game uses the chip technology that's already in there, so not all games will be compatible with it. But if you use this on the actual Sega Genesis Model 1 or 2, then all your Master System games should work with no glitchiness or anything. So because this is basically just a bypass to help you play Mega Drive. No wait, play Master System on Mega Drive and Genesis. So yeah. But if the console does not have Sega Master System compatibility built inside it, then even if you do have a Master System games plugged on top of this thing, so yeah, even if you do have a game like this combo card here and you plug inside any Genesis that does not have Master System built inside it, it will not work. Just like the AtGames Sega Genesis, it has a Genesis slot, but just because it has a Genesis slot does not mean that it will work with Master System as well. You just have to use this to prove that if it does. So Power Base Mini is basically just that. You use this to see if these games work on that Genesis, because if you put it in here and it doesn't work, then chances are that Genesis does not have Master System compatibility, just like the AtGames or the Nomad. However, Stone Age Gamers, the online store here does say that, yeah, if you could mod the Sega Nomad, you could possibly use that to play this in it too. So I think that the Sega Master System compatibility is already in the Nomad. It just got blocked for some reason by Sega on purpose. So I don't know why that is, but there's something inside the Nomad that blocks the Master System from entering its components. So if you could mod it and unblock that or unlock that, then you could possibly play these on the Nomad. Also, the Game Gear also has a Master System converter as well, which you can play Master System games on the Game Gear. So that might be one of the reasons why Sega blocked the Master System compatibility on the Nomad, perhaps. Because the Game Gear and the Master System use the same processor. It's just that the Game Gear is highly more advanced. It has more colors displayed than that of the Master System. So even though it could play Master System games, yeah, if you can't play Game Gear games on Master System because Master System has a less few colors and less processor, less powers, if I could say that. So yeah, Sega probably prevented Master System games like these from working on the Nomad so that people could start buying the Game Gear, but for some reason Game Gear itself is also a failure. But it was a nice idea to be able to play to play Master System games on all these other consoles. It'll be nice if it works on the Nomad as well. Sad that you have to mod it to make it work though. I don't know if you can mod the AtGame ones though. The AtGame ones is pretty much just a chip, so, and it's basically a different chip, not like the one on the Super Retro Trio there. Retrobit probably have a different chip from the one used by AtGames, so you probably might get some games to work but not all of them, whereas AtGames pretty much doesn't even let you have any of them, so that's really sad on AtGames part. Yeah, so if you have a Game Gear, you can use the Game Gear one to play Master System game there, but the thing is the Game Gear also has Master System port already in there too, so if you have a Game Gear, then just get the Master System games that are not ports. So games like games like Space Harrier here. Yeah, there might be a Space Harrier on the Game Gear too, but this one plays more accurate to the arcade. And also exclusive games like Lord of the Sword here, which was not on the Game Gear. But if you're looking for a game like Sonic the Hedgehog here, yeah, there's already one on the Game Gear, and I rather prefer playing that one than this one, because yeah, this one was meant for portable anyways. Compared to if you compare to the Genesis one, then the Genesis one is hands down the best one. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this Power Base Mini here. It's a nice little converter that allows you to play your Master System games on any Genesis compatible system that has Master System compatibility built in it. So yeah, if you have this, try to plug any of your Master System games on any of those systems that has Genesis hookup. Maybe you might be able to get some of them to work, or all of them if you can. So, but to me, for these two right here, yeah, if I should prefer one or the others, yeah, if you really care about those car games, then yeah, you might as well get this one, because this one has compatibility for both of them. Yeah, I keep saying that word all night, that it's hard to say it now, but yeah, you have these two formats. So if you don't care about the car format, then feel free to get this. It's more comfortable and it works on more platform. But if you just want those car games, then you can use this one. And yeah, you have the Master System cartridge and the Master System card. However, there are some cards that got turned into cartridge. So yeah, if you don't care much about these, then you're more reliable to use this. Because to me, if I have to prefer one or the other, I would prefer this one, because this one works on more platform. Whereas if you have this one, yeah, it does let you bypass to get to the Master System compatibility, but it's too bulky. It doesn't really fit on all of the platform except for RetroN 5 and the Model 1 Genesis. So if you're the people who only have the other systems, then you might as well not bother with this at all. Basically, it's the same as this. There's really no difference between these two, aside from one having one format and one having two formats. So both of them does have the pause button, so you're not really missing anything except for these things, and there's not a lot of these anyways. So if I have to choose one, this is the one I go for. It may cost around $40 to get at Stone Age Gamers, but if you so choose this one, yeah, it might probably cost you around $50 to $60, depending on the conditions and if the seller is like really really want to actually give it away. But yeah, that's all I have to say about these two converter here. So I would prefer the Power Base Minis. If I should give each of these a letter grades, for this one I might give it pretty much a B, considering that it works great and works on like giving you 2 formats and all that. However, it only works on 2 platforms, so that's good and all, but if you're one of those Genesis owners that does not have that platform, you're not gonna be able to enjoy all your Master System games in it. For this one, I'll pretty much give it an A- above the other one. Works on more platforms. It's much more comfortable to hold. It's in cart form, so you have a lot of space to put it in compared to the bulkiness of this one, which is really big and might take up almost that of a console. And this one is just a cartridge form. So yeah, that's the Power Base Mini right there. So thank you for watching, and hope this video helps you decide whether if you should get this one or this one, because to me, I rather prefer this one. Anyways, okay, just for the fun of it, let's try a new experience. Get this. Power Base Minis on top of RetroN adapters. And RetroN adapters and Power Base Minis on top of Super Nintendo. Let's see if it works. So there we have it. And then let's plug the power AV cables right there so that we get videos. Alright. I don't know. It may or may not work. It's a Genesis on a chip on an adapter. So like before, same 4 games. Space Harriers. Well, what do you know? It's Sega Master System on Super Nintendo. So here you go. I don't believe what I'm seeing. I'm actually playing Space Harrier, the Sega Master System Space Harrier on Super Nintendo. That is awesome. Will this work? Let's try it. Alright, the combo cart on Super Nintendo. There it is on Super Nintendo. Just like before, even though I suck at it, I'm still gonna try it. Yep, everything works fine. Alright, let's try the other game. Astro Warrior. Yep, there it is. It's Master System for Super Nintendo. Next, Lord of the Sword. There it is. Focus, camera. So, Lord of the Sword on Super Nintendo. So that's awesome. You got the Sega Master System library on Super Nintendo now. I can use Super Nintendo controllers. Next, let's try Sonic the Hedgehog and see how it goes. Alright, so Sonic. Will Sonic works? Because if Sonic works, it's a win-win for Super Nintendo. Alright, so basically, yeah, RetroN adapters and Power Base Mini, they make a great combo right here. And if you plug a Master System games on top of that, yeah, you plug it like this and you put it inside the Super Nintendo over there. Yeah, you use it for Super Nintendo. With these, you will be able to play Master System games through the converter in the adapters that goes inside the Super Nintendo. So you basically could use this with this. And that's awesome right there. That's something that even the Nomad and the AtGames Sega Genesis, which have the Genesis brand in it, cannot do. So that's very interesting too. So let's check out other hardware that may and may not work, shall we? So here we got another product that we reviewed before. Here's the Super Boy. Will the Super Boy work? Let's find out. So there he goes. So there's the Super Boy, RetroGen, Retro Minis, Lord of the Sword. And we'll just have to plug that in there and get the TV to work. So we'll just have to do that again. Let's see, does it work? Well, the music is coming from the Super Boy, but as you can tell, it's Lord of the Sword, alright. You can't really see anything on Super Boy, but it's still Lord of the Sword playing through Super Boy. So we'll turn that off for now. And yeah, it does work on the Super Boy, but it doesn't play on the Super Boy, that is. So let's do it one better. Yeah, we'll totally do it one better. Let's try this one. Yeah, the mother load of the clone's portable system. So right here. Now, anyone who has seen this before, if only I stopped doing that in focus. Yeah, if you have seen this before, you know that this is called a Retro Dual Portable, and it's able to play NES, Super NES, maybe Famicom too, Super Famicons, and Game Boy Advance games. And now it can play Genesis games. So with the RetroGen, you can already play Genesis game, but could it also play Master System games too? Now let's turn the power on and find out. And it does. So here it is, Lord of the Sword, just like before. Let's see, does it work with the other three? Alright, so let's hang on and Astro Warrior. Does it work? Does it work? Yeah, it does work. I don't like hang on, so let's go to Astro Warriors this time. Okay, so hang on and Astro Warrior does work. So let's see. Does Sonic the Hedgehog works? Let's find out. Yep, it does. You can play Master System Sonic the Hedgehog on your Retro Dual Portable. So that was funny. Alright. Focus. Well, it works. Alright. And last one, Space Harrier. So, does Space Harrier work? Oh man, finally hit the damn camera, huh? So yeah, this time, Space Harrier on the Retro Dual portables. And it does work. It's glitch. It still has those glitching graphics sometimes, but at least the gameplay still works really great. All right. So I have to say, yeah, RetroGens, Power Base Minis make a good combos.